So, welcome to my first podcast, everyone. And I do not have a clue what I'm going to say, but I wanted to just get this started and figure out if there's a format for my channel, if there's anything to talk about, if you guys enjoy this. I got to start somewhere, and so I figured let's just go for it. Tech Talk, I don't know, maybe change the name later, but right now my interests are games. I'm not a gameaholic. I do play Xbox, weekly. I have a full-time job, so this is all a hobby for me. But maybe I can strike up some conversations with myself and pique your guys' interest, and you guys give me some ideas of what I should talk about, and we can kind of enjoy this ride together and see what comes of it. Some things about myself. I've been programming for quite a few years as a hobbyist. I don't do it professionally, so there's still a lot that I don't know, but I've been doing it long enough that I understand the core concepts. At least I believe I understand the core concepts, and I usually teach them pretty well, I think, to people, and I enjoy doing that. So my aim at this channel pretty much is to teach programming. I'm starting with Godot engine because I wanted to learn that myself, and I figured I could learn that and teach it to you. It will not only be good for you because you'll learn from me, but it will also allow me, by teaching, to grasp the concepts and really make it core. Really help me to grasp them and learn them. It's always good to teach. If you have an opportunity as you're learning to teach, you're going to learn the concepts much faster, and you're going to solidify them, and you're going to remember them a lot better. So one of my tips is, if you've got a chance, you're learning from me, and you want to start your own channel, teach. Start your own channel. Take my concepts and take what I'm teaching you and teach them to others. Feel free. That's really the best way to learn, is to teach. So learn things very small. Start out, little concepts, kind of like what I'm teaching, and just go from there. I usually learn, I'll take an hour and I'll learn small pieces of something, and I learn the details, and I'll repeat it over and over and over, and that helps me to really solidify it and really learn it and really keep it in my memory, so that way I don't forget. But you also got to remember, programming is vast. There is a lot to learn. So don't try and learn it all. Don't try and learn everything all within the first week, month, or 6 months. This is an endless journey, at least in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion, but programming is an endless journey, and I know I'm far from being a master at it. Of course, maybe I'd be a little better if I had a professional job doing it, but to me, if it became a professional job, then it's work, and I wouldn't want to do it anymore. So I tend to keep it as my hobby, and I like it that way. I've played around with C++ and had a couple college classes in C++. I've made some programs in C#. I've written some code in Java, JavaScript. I know the basics of web development. I've been playing with Flutter. There's a lot of different things I dabbled in, and I think one of my problems is, and I don't know about you guys, I know this is Tech Talk and I'm kind of on a tangent with programming, but one of the things that I find myself doing is never settling down on one programming language or one concept, one paradigm, and I'm all over the place. I'll spend 2, 3, 4 months on Java, and then I'll take a class in C++, and then I'm already on to web development. So I started with Unreal Engine, moved to Unity, played with Construct 2. I guess it's good because it's good experience. You're learning what you want to learn or what you want to use, what's your style. But I think it's bad in a way, because then you never really get to focus in, and you never really get to learn. I guess you don't get to master any one concept or one language. And I think one of the things I'm trying to do with the Godot series is also force myself by having weekly, daily tutorials for you guys is force myself to stick with something and learn it. Maybe not master it, but learn it decently enough and well enough that I can build something a little more advanced than, say, just a small platform shooter with one level and basic features. Of course, that's where we'll all start. We got to start somewhere, but I hope to maybe pick a game style and get through a few levels, get far enough along, maybe finish the entire game. That would be nice, but at least get far enough along where it goes from a concept idea to a playable game that someone might enjoy playing, like one of my friends or family members, or I put it out there for free for people to play and enjoy. So that's my hopes anyways. And I'm shooting for around 10 minutes on this podcast, so I think I'm getting close. I gotta be honest, this is the first time I've probably ever talked to myself for 10 minutes, much less talk to myself for a minute. So I gotta be honest, it's not that hard to sit here and talk to yourself because I have a lot of ideas, or I know where I've been and I know the things that I want to share with you, such as, my programming experience. I do want to discuss, and I enjoy discussing how I've learned programming and what I've seen and where I went wrong. So maybe I can explain how I've traveled on this journey, and you can take my experiences and maybe learn from them. Maybe you figure out, hey, I like Java, and I'm going to stick with Java so that I'm not constantly jumping around and I'm actually learning something. Maybe get a job faster that way. Pick one programming language if you really want a job at it. Go to school, get some skills, learn on your own, and just dive into that wholeheartedly and attack it with everything you've got. And that is probably a better strategy than me jumping around. But on the other flip side, I have talked with students and some professionals and explained to them, some of the projects that I've worked on myself, and they are actually amazed, since I don't have a full-time job and I don't do it outside of a hobby. It can be hard to learn that way, and I've created a lot of projects, and I find things, I gotta admit, at my work, I have found things at work to make programs for, and I've even earned some side cash at work developing some programs where I knew the system at work, and so I offered a solution. And so there's always things like that. You don't have to have a full-time job as a programmer, but you can see as a programmer where you might find some problems and offer solutions for yourself in daily life, or to make your own work life easier, or like I did, side projects at work to make somebody else's life easier and get paid for it. So tons to talk about. Sorry I got stuck on programming. I guess programming is part of tech, but I was going to discuss more. I don't know. This was my first podcast, so I really didn't know what I was discussing. I don't have a script. I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head. I guess let me know if you guys like this format, or if you want me to come up with some kind of dialogue and subject that I stick to and talk about, or if you don't mind me rambling, and I'll just kind of talk about weekly whatever I ramble off the top of my head and what I feel like that week. I'm going to try and shoot for a podcast to drop every Sunday. I'm going to stick with the audio format for now and just have a background screen, and we'll see if anybody listens and how it works. And I'm actually kind of excited about this, so I hope you guys are too. I hope I actually get some listeners. I hope I get some likes and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. We'll see you in the next podcast. Maybe I'll ramble less and I'll have more of a... Nah, probably not. I'll probably just ramble. All right. See ya.